Good morning, Edmonton. This is Toni Latour. I'm coming to you from what is commonly known as Vancouver, which is the land of the Coast Salish peoples, the Musqueam, Tsleil-Waututh, and Squamish nations. And I'm saying hello to you out there in the territory of the Cree, Blackfoot, Métis, Nakota Sioux, Haudenosaunee, Dene, Anishinaabe, and Inuk peoples. So good morning. I'm excited that my piece, Let's Heal the Divide, has been installed in Edmonton. It was originally installed in Vancouver. It was inspired at first by a protest that I had gone to, an Idle No More protest around the corner from where I live many years ago. And Barry Mowat, the founder of the Vancouver Biennale, asked me to consider proposing a public art piece. And so the piece that I decided on was a neon sign that read, "Let's Heal the Divide." And I thought a long time about the wording, and I spoke to a lot of people. I went into the public space in front of where it would be installed, which was on the facade of the Vancouver Community College, and I spoke to the people who lived in that area, the people who lived in the park across from the street, students, social workers. It was a place where many different communities converged, an area that was bordered on great wealth and great poverty. So there's a lot of division. And I also spoke to artists, Indigenous artists, and other local artists about the piece, and came to a place of goodness around that text. And the piece lived there for a few years and is now in a new location in Chinatown, and which is also a community that has been under threat of gentrification and of cultural erasure. And so now it's living in Edmonton, and I see you, Edmonton. I see the protests that are happening, the Black Lives Matter protests that are happening in Edmonton, and the pushback that's happening. We are living in a time of great division, where things are coming to crisis points around the environment and climate change, environmental justice, around police brutality, violence, and murder, around racism so deeply embedded in all of our systems, our white supremacist colonial systems. And there's also some hope for change and protest and resistance and policy change. We're seeing the greatest amount of diversity within our government. We're seeing Indigenous women leaders, people of color, women of color taking those positions. But we're also seeing many of those people leave those positions and not wanting to run again because they're entering into a system that is harmful to them. It's a colonial, white, cis male system that was built and maintained to serve specific people and is harmful to many. And so this piece is really calling on those people, communities, governments, systems to change, because we won't have true healing until we have justice, until we have economic justice, until we have environmental justice, until we have racial justice, until we have clean water, until we have land back, until we have reparations. Many people are working tirelessly to make these changes, and Edmonton is no different. So we see devastating impacts for people, families, lives, communities. And we each have the responsibility to work together toward that justice and toward that collective healing. Thank you for your time, and I wish you well.